I don't think I fine-tuned it enough so that what I really want to get down to it, because it doesn't seem like well, anyway, let as I blah 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 blah. Hey, welcome everybody. This is our 132nd meeting, and so this is SoundBroker presents our current event roundtable show. But I think it's more of a discussion and opinion show of people who are of like minds, and everything you hear is an opinion. So do your own research, and welcome everybody. I hope everybody had a great week. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving if you lived in America. And I was on vacation. So this week I'm not as prepared as I've normally been, but at least I remembered the name of the show. So how's everybody doing?
Excellent.
Good, Dave. Good to see you. Fred, Wayne, good to see you. I know we're going to have more people show up on the panel today, but in the meantime, we got to get going. And there's so much to talk about. I don't even know where to start. So let me just say, we started about talking about Thanksgiving. Did everybody have turkey?
Yes.
No, I ended up having to fly to Penn State instead of going to Cal, and we had Chinese food because that was the only thing that was open.
Yeah. Well, I was in Thailand, and I was at the Marriott, and of course that's an American chain. So up on the 27th floor, where they have the executive lounge, they did have a little bit of turkey stuffing, but it wasn't like American style. It was there, but for some reason it wasn't Americanized. It was just, and then right next to it, they had the English curry, and they had naan bread, and they had all sorts of different Thai foods, tom yum and chicken satay.
Naan bread? What is naan bread?
Naan bread is Indian bread. It's Nam, N-A-M, I believe is it's spelled, but then again, do your own research on that. And it's really good. Usually they make it with garlic or onion or plain. And when you're eating your curry, you dip your curry you dip your Nam into the curry and you eat it up. It almost looks like a pancake more than anything else, or a tortilla. But it's very, very, if you get a chance to try Nam, try it. It's good. You'll like it.
It's real good. I love it.
Try it. You'll like it.
It's spelled with 2 A's though.
Oh, 2 A's?
Yes.
Yeah. And by the way, if you're ever in Las Vegas and you want good Indian food, there is a restaurant on Flamingo. It's off the strip, not by the strip, so you don't get traffic. But basically, it's called The Mint, and you'll go there and you will see a lot of Indian people eating there. So it must be good, and authentic Indian food. Very good, reasonably priced, and you can thank me after you've eaten. So we were talking about it before we started, but as Fred was saying, Christina McVeigh passed away at 79 this week. May she rest in peace. Fleetwood Mac's co-lead singer with Stevie Nicks, And what were you saying about it? She died exactly the same day as who was that died?
George Harrison, 21 years ago.
21 years ago. It seems like yesterday. It's amazing how time goes by so fast. It's really amazing. And actually, it actually doesn't go by any faster than it should, but it really did, because we've added a couple of extra seconds to the atomic clock. So it really is going a little bit faster. But you know who else died? And you might not remember her as well as I do, but Irene Cara. And Irene Cara was a singer. She sang the song Flashdance and Fame. What a Feeling. Anyway, she won an Oscar and a Grammy Award. So she sang the song Sparkle as well. Anyway, I got a chance to work with her, and when I was at RSO Records, and actually we became friends, and she was a very, very cool human being, except I remember one time where she got the best of her when she was doing this song called Hot Lunch Jam. And Michael Gore, who was Leslie Gore's brother was producing it, and she didn't like the way it was going. She didn't like the way she was singing, so she changed a word in the song. And then after she finished singing it, she decided to negotiate for writing credit. So, well, that was a big to-do for sure. They almost threw her out of the studio after that, but that's what happens. So, does anybody remember her other than me?
Sure. As a matter of fact, when Fame came out, I went to see it at the Cinerama Dome in Hollywood. And I was alone. I just had heard this really cool movie came out, and I went to see it, and I was so blown away that I went home and I said to Myrna, we're going to the movies tomorrow night, and we're going to go see Fame. And I went to see it the second night, and I had never done anything like that before. See a movie once, it's enough,
Yeah.
It was
It was a great movie for, a bunch of kids getting together and working to see if they can, get famous, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
and then
New York City too, which was really.
And of course, Flashdance, who didn't fall in love with Jennifer Beal, So that was that was iconic in those times. It was, of course, it was disco music, so it was really cool. Anyway, moving on, just a reminder that there is a touring conference at Rock Lidditz on December 7th, 8th, and 9th, put on by Marty Hom and Jake Berry and Charlie Hernandez, as well as Stuart Ross. And I think they're picking up a lot of momentum. I heard Digico is now sponsoring it or going to have some sort of activity over there as well. So I wish I could go to that. That would be something that would be a lot of fun. Did you guys ever go to any of the awards like, what was it called? Performance Magazine, where they had that convention, the touring convention?
No.
It was a lot of fun, man. I met a lot of people. Really, 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 really cool. Anyway, so let's talk about something else. Anybody watching the World Cup?
Oh yeah.
So what do you think?
My TiVo is busy. I'm thinking that Qatar, which is what they all call it there, so who knows what the real name is putting on a pretty good event. Those fields look immaculate. The stands are good. Their politics are something else, and what they did to the workers, that's a whole nother story. But the competition seems really good. And I watched the U.S. game yesterday, and it was a nail biter all the way to the end. But they came out ahead.
Yeah. It's hard to think of soccer or football, as they call it, as a nail biter. I just, I just don't get that. I don't get it. I mean, it's like in Brazil, when you're born, they give you a soccer ball and a pack of cigarettes, right in your crib. So you grow up with that in your whole environment, and you end up playing soccer because it's a very inexpensive sport to play. You don't need anything but a ball and a space. I mean, that's really what you need. You don't really need a soccer goal net, although they're nice to have. You don't really need that, if you're going to be playing as a non-professional and playing as kids. So, Wayne,
soccer
do you play?
Ball and cigarettes seem to be counterintuitive, Jan.
Yeah, but that's how it is because everybody smokes in Brazil and everybody plays soccer, So
I find it exciting. I know the game. I played it in high school, and it was a nail biter. I mean, any second they could score. It doesn't.
I can't imagine the soccer players smoking. There's too much running involved.
I didn't.
Oh, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. I mean, and I go to the gym and I see these people working out like crazy, and then they take a break and they go outside and start smoking. It makes no sense to me. Absolutely no sense. I can't figure that part out, But I have an interesting story, or a little aside. When I was growing up in Hollywood, so I'm in my 30s now, and I heard that there was a soccer game. The Rainbow Bar and Grill had a little, choose up soccer game every once in a while. And so I heard about it. And one day I went down to the park to play. And even though I'd never played in soccer before, and Rod Stewart was there. Rod Stewart and his crew were there playing. And they're pretty, how would I say? They're aficionados when it comes to soccer. Rod's really good.
Well,
anyway.
He owns a team. He owns one of the big teams.
He does?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, one of the big teams, not just some regional team, one of the majors.
What team is that?
I wouldn't know. Manchester United. I mean,
Manchester United. Now, I'm going to tell you a story about that too as soon as we finish this. But Wayne, what were you saying? What's his team? I see you shaking your head. Yeah. He owns a team. Somebody do some research real quick. Give me the name of that team.
You're
that
muted,
Rod's.
Wayne.
Wow.
I was just agreeing with David there that Rod Stewart owned a team. I don't know which team it was. I'm not really a soccer follower, but I thought he was in partnership with someone else.
Right. Well, anyway, so we're in the field. I've never played soccer before. The ball's passed to me, and Rod Stewart is guarding me. And I went to go kick the ball, and I missed the ball, and I did like a 360 flip in the air, and I fell on my ass. And everybody, as I was trying to get up, everybody's standing over me, laughing their ass off. They say, "Oh, that's the funniest thing we've ever seen," And then afterwards, they took me back to the Rainbow, and I hung out with those guys. It was a lot of fun. But
Was that when you had your fro?
yeah. I had the Jew fro, was out there about here. It was cool. David knows me in those days. David and I. Celtic FC, according to Tina. That's the name of Rod Stewart's team.
Yeah.
I never heard of it.
Is it true that Rod Stewart had the largest audience ever at one show?
I doubt it. I
No,
doubt it.
I
I think
thought it was unusual, but there was a festival. I only read that somewhere. It could be 100% incorrect, but I thought there was a show.
I thought he did before Queen. I thought Rod Stewart had the biggest one. He played Wembley or something where it was like 250,000 people or something.
Oh no, I think there was one where there was even more. I'd have to Google it up now and see whether it was still correct.
At one time it was Frank Sinatra.
Wait a second. Tina's got something there in the chat. Somebody read that. I only see the first line. So read what she said. Or Tina, why don't you give us the voice of
You
the
need some
voice of
glasses
reason?
now, Jan? What's going on? I can read that perfectly.
Oh, really? I can't. I can only read the top line for some reason. What does it say?
It's gone on my screen. I can't see it now.
Rod Stewart holds the record for the largest concert crowd ever. Rod filled the Copacabana beach in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil with 3,500,000 people.
Okay, 3,500,000. That's crazy. Because if there's that many people, you wouldn't be able to see the guy, And especially in those days, I mean, that's just saying that everybody who lived
December
in Copacabana.
31st, 1994.
Yeah, they didn't even have screens in those days. They didn't have video projection in those days. Well, yes, they did, but it was too expensive to put it out on the beach. So I find that hard to believe.
They pull off some pretty spectacular shows in Rio.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, Rock
he
in Rio
beat,
was amazing.
McCartney's record from April 21st, 1990. So
Yeah, I went to one Rock in Rio, and it was amazingly huge with so many different bands. I can't even remember all the bands that played down there the year I was there. But I think Tom Petty might have played that year, one year that I was there. But I can't remember.
Look what I got today talking about Tom Petty. Of course.
What is that? You can almost see it.
Yeah, hold on. I got to turn the damn.
For those people that are listening, he's holding up something.
Come on. Where's my?
it's like a picture of Tom Petty.
With the CD?
No, it's my CD. I literally just got it an hour ago.
Oh, right. What? Tell us about it. Just read it.
It's Free Fallin' live in the USA.
Okay.
It's
10
10 discs.
Wow, very, very cool. I have another interesting story about me and Tom Petty. And that is when Tom Petty when he first came out as an artist. I mean, he's been playing around. And I was working with a disc jockey called Charlie Kendall, who Charlie Kendall became huge, one of the biggest disc jockeys. He went to Philadelphia and I believe WMMR, and he was not only the program director, but he was the on-the-air star in Philadelphia. But before that, he was on K-Rock, and I was managing the guy, his career, getting him commercials. to do, voiceovers because he had that really great voice, and I was getting him work. And so he said to me, "Hey, look, there's this new artist, Tom Petty. He's playing the Whiskey tonight, and we're going out for dinner. So if you want to go to Emilio's with us for dinner, come on down, and we can hang out together." And this was New Year's Eve. I believe this was New Year's Eve, if I remember correctly. And I had backstage passes to see Jackson Brown. So I went out to dinner with Tom Petty and his and Charlie Kendall, and what was the other guy's name? I can't remember him. I got John Scott, and Andrea McBride, I think was her name as well, and Tom Petty. And we all went out to dinner. And then he says, all right, we're going to go over to the Whiskey now and see the New Year's Eve show. And I said, well, I got a backstage passes at Jackson Brown. And so instead of going to the Whiskey, which probably would have been a much better experience for me, and I'd be able to tell you that I saw Tom Petty play New Year's Eve at the Whiskey. Well, it turns out I saw Jackson Brown at the Forum. Hundreds of people, had a great time anyway, but that's my story with Tom Petty. And he has good manners. He had good table manners. I do remember that. So there you have it. One last story I've got, seeing we were talking about soccer. When I was younger and crazier, I had a Porsche, a 914 Porsche. And it was, one of those little Boxster cars, you know what I'm talking about, where it just come out and everybody was selling me, oh, that's not a Porsche, that's just a glorified Volkswagen. I hated when they say that. But I got personalized plates, and the personalized plates, because I was I was a player in those days, I'll admit it, I was a player. And so I had personalized plates, and my personalized plates was man for you. I was the man for you, right? But when I was driving down the street, people would stop me and they'd give me the thumbs up. And then one day I'm parked and this guy comes up and says, "Man, love your license plate." I said, "Well, thanks." He said, "Yeah, I'm a big Man United fan myself." So it was actually for the soccer team that they thought that my license plate was for the soccer team, not a man for you. So. Also, I had to be careful when I drove through West Hollywood. I have to tell you that. So those people knew that. Anyway, Steve Sluter, Louisiana, in the room. Big Blue, what's happening? Well, there you go.
I didn't get an invite today. I had to dig one out.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, you know what? I'll tell you, there was something wrong with Zoom today when I was sending out the invites. So I only got to page 11. And so not all of them went out. But hey, you guys got to remember that it's every Wednesday, come hell or high water.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm doing this thing, I'm doing this thing. And it's, I mean, I can't tell you how many
Well, that's
people.
why I'm here.
I can't tell you how many people tell me that, it used to be to help them go to, so they wouldn't have to go to a psychiatrist. Now they listen to the show and they find themselves running to the psychiatrist to kind of unwind from the show,
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, what's the scoop down there? What's going on with you guys over there in Louisiana? Earthquakes?
staying busy.
Is there what's the weather story?
No volcanoes, right?
Well, we just had a little rain stuff come in last night, but next few days supposed to be nice and sunny in the 60s. Maybe a high of 72.
Right. And how are your Saints doing this year?
Our ain'ts.
Your Saints? And how's our Raiders doing this year, Tina?
Oh my gosh, that
As
Seattle
well as
versus
the
Raiders
Saints,
game on
right?
Sunday was a good one, but we're in the same boat as the Aints, the Aiders and the Aints.
Yeah, not good.
I don't
Fred,
think
what
the
about
Cardinals-
your
Very
team?
disappointing.
I was going to say, I don't think the Cardinals are doing very well either. I don't follow them, but I asked somebody the other day how the Cardinals are doing, and they said,
Oh no,
I think they're
they're
1-11.
not.
Now, David, how many football teams are there playing in Los Angeles right now?
Two. We still have the Chargers and we still have the Rams.
And how are they doing? Are they? Is there anything going on there?
I'm not following it. I follow the championships. I don't follow the regular seasons, so I couldn't tell you what's going on.
Yeah, it turns out now that the NFL has built up one of the most exclusive leagues and franchises there is. Did you anybody get to see the Dallas Giant game that took place in Mexico City?
Yes,
I heard that
it was good.
You know, and so the Mexican, I didn't get to see the game, but I only heard this, that the Mexican announcer normally calls soccer. You know, that's what he normally talks. So then when they made the football score, the guy goes crazy. Score, you know.
Oh,
Yeah, he has that prolonged call that echoes on and on and on.
You know, so it's really cool.
It is.
Well, let's see what's in the news today. Let's see. The Taylor Swift thing still goes on. So right now, the Justice Department is investigating Live Nation. Congress, both the Senate and the House, are investigating them. So basically what it says here is that they have monopoly concerns. Oh, really? I wonder why with this Ticketmaster and Live Nation. I can't believe that it's gone so long before they decided, well, there's a little challenge here. And OAC, she is taking this personal because her staff members wanted to get Taylor Swift tickets and they couldn't. And so she's saying, I'm taking this personally. And so she's going to be grilling the Live Nation and
so what's the deal with not being able to buy tickets?
Of course she is. Of course she is.
Okay, so what happened is that the bot system out there is crazy. And so they put the tickets on pre-sale where they were only going to sell a certain amount of tickets, but they sold $2 million worth of tickets like right away and sold out every show. But it wasn't sold out to the fans. It was sold out to a bunch of bots. And the bots, then all of a sudden the tickets started appearing on all of these different sites like StubHub for $35,000. And so her fans couldn't really get the tickets. So all of the tickets then became resold rather than sold directly, or I shouldn't say all the tickets, but too many of the tickets disappeared out of the marketplace for resale with other vendors.
Well, that's what I was just asking. Why are all these places, don't they have a box office anymore? I have a neighbor here that just went to go try to see Bonamassa. I guess he played in town while I was out of town. And he went to the box office to buy tickets, and they don't sell tickets at the box office. How can you have a venue with a box office and you don't sell tickets to things that are showing in your own building?
Hence why there is a monopoly here, because basically Live Nation and Ticketmaster are in cahoots. So Live Nation, for example, they handle, let's just pick a band that they handle, the Eagles. So if you wanted to book the Eagles, you have to book them from Live Nation, you know, but Ticketmaster is the only way you could, if the venue isn't associated with Ticketmaster, then the Eagles won't play there because they won't let them. So if you're an AEG house, you can't book the Eagles. That's just one example. And then when they put the tickets on sale, they have it set up so, and I'm sure this is all going to come out, that somehow they've set it up so that they have allowed these resellers to get in there and buy the tickets from them. Because what do they care? I mean, in other words, it basically, the way it works is this: they have X amount of tickets to sell. And if they sell all of those tickets, that's what their profit is. They know that they've made money. And so they don't really care if they make more money. So they sell it to, and for all we know, there could be kickbacks. We don't know that. There's possibility that they're letting these brokers, like for example, people on StubHub, for example, get a bunch of tickets and they're actually paying back somebody in management. Who knows? But whatever it is, the artist is not getting that money. The artist is only getting the price of the face value of the price of the tickets. And that is totally unfair. The artist should be getting the bulk of the money, not some scalper.
Well, and the same thing goes for the house. I mean, if you have a venue, you've got costs associated with holding the concert there. Why can't they, I don't get it. I don't, if you're gonna
Well,
go.
we're going to
I
know
wanna go-
because
wanna
we're
go
going to know
see
what's
something
going on
somewhere,
very,
you just
very
be able to
soon.
go to a box office and buy the tickets.
I
It's
agree
always
with you,
done that way.
but we are going to know for sure what's going to happen because they're being investigated from every aspect: the Justice Department, the State Department, the local, not the State Department, but the state. Each state is investigating now because they smell a lot of money and they sell a lot. I mean, this is something that everybody could relate to because everybody wants to be entertained. And so this is going to make a name for certain people. And it's a big thing to knock the king of the hill off the hill. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to knock I feel that there is going to be some uncovering of some crucial data that's been swept under the rug for so many years, and now it's going to come out. Who got paid off because somebody made some money for doing this. That's for sure. It didn't just happen for the goodness of their hearts. Somebody's making money somewhere, and they're going to find out because right now the Senate Judiciary Subcommittee on Competition Policy is investigating. The Congress is investigating. Each individual district attorney from the office of the states are investigating. I mean, and it turned out it took the Taylor Swift concert to be the one that was the ignition fuse for this, and now we'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll become balanced.
Good for her. I'm glad to hear the story. Look at where Kurt is. Oh my goodness, it's snowing.
Wow.
Yeah,
Maybe that could be a green screen. Wait a second.
and I broke him down on the side of the road with a blown out rear truck tire, trying to get PA to a venue before the snowstorm adds up.
Do you need us to call 911 for you?
I got the guy.
Very, very good. So how cold, well, when it's snowing, it's not as cold as it might appear. How cold is it where you are?
Like 34 right now.
Okay, very good.
That's dedication. He made it to the mastermind through adversity, like a postal worker.
Yeah.
He's like the postman.
How's that?
Yeah. Well, the mail must go through. That's,
The PA needs to be there for loading in the morning, and if it snows like they say, that would be a big challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's also the slogan for one of those LBGQ dance clubs I went to once. The mail must go through, that's what I think it was called. But I can't remember. That was just one of those things. Anyway, Metallica is going out back on the road. They're going to be doing a show. Are they coming up to your neck of the woods?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Yeah.
They can only play outdoors here. Maybe Climate Pledge, but everything else would be the middle of winter if they're on tour now.
Yeah, I guess there wouldn't be a big demand for tickets if they were playing outdoors in an arena in the middle of the winter. No. I don't think so. I don't think that would happen. That wouldn't happen.
Are you in Seattle?
Anyway,
Are you in Seattle?
Yeah, I'm right by the airport. I'm on the way. I was on my way north to pre-stage the
Alaska.
truck. Not
North
that far
to
north.
Alaska, eh?
No, I was on my way to Seattle. I'm 20, 30 minutes away, but now I've been sitting here for an hour.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but you got good. I mean, you got good cell reception there wherever you are.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Must be the density of the air.
So what's the big news in your town today? What's the news story that's breaking everywhere in the Seattle area?
The snowstorm.
There you have it. Snowstorm. That's good weather.
Started about 3, and it's supposed to go all day tomorrow.
Wow.
So
Here it's been raining.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're supposed to get rain tomorrow night from that same storm in LA. So it's a big one.
I'll never get out of the venue with the trucks full of PA. So we're trying to drop them today, do the gig tomorrow, and come back on Friday and get them out of there.
Now, how big is your crew on this particular show?
There's 4 of us.
And where are the rest of the guys?
They left me here to take the other truck up.
Well, very good.
I'm hanging out with the little truck. The big truck with all the big PA in it is up there now.
Oh, good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing that happened. Well, I'm glad. And what show is it?
It's a thing called 85 South, which is some kind of like hip hop comedy tour that's all improvised, and they have a band with them and stuff. I'm really not sure what to expect.
Yeah. Well, speaking of hip hop comedy,
it's with DC Young Fly and Carlos Miller and Chico Bean. They're funny.
yeah.
Okay.
So, in case you haven't been following the news, and speaking of hip hop, I believe Kim Kardashian and Ye finally reached a divorce settlement. In case you've been following that, she's going to be getting $200,000 per month for child support. That just seems so unfair. Oh well.
She doesn't need it.
And
Why would she ask?
He's still almost a billionaire, so he doesn't need it either. And there's 4 kids, so it's only $50,000 a month each.
Only.
Nannies are expensive.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. That's just the Botox treatment alone for the kids, could run up to that kind of money. So, whatever. Just remember, don't try this at home. All right, that's what I could say. Let's see what else. There's a rail strike almost on the moon. We'll see if Congress can nip that in the bud so that there will be no rail strike. That would be a horrible thing.
They passed something today. The House or the Senate passed something today and gave them their paid vacation, which was the sticking point. So I think it's been avoided.
Well, basically, that was the whole idea of the Senate and the Congress getting involved in it, so that they wouldn't. It would cripple the country if the rails. I mean, most big things move by rail. They move by rail and by truck.
Mm-hmm. And trucks
Sometimes they're moved by truck.
Yeah, sometimes.
Have
Well,
a flat
right
tire
now.
on the side of the road.
Oh, is it a flat tire? Is that what happened? You got a flat tire?
Yeah, the inner passenger dually just disintegrated. He must have hit something on the freeway, or I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah, I had a little car trouble myself this week. We left the car. We left the car at the airport. One of those, not the airport, but the long-term parking. And when we got there, the car wouldn't start. But they have this little thing. I've never seen it before, and I've heard about it. But basically, it's a little battery. It's about this big. It's about 6 inches wide and 2 inches long. And it's just enough to charge a car, to get a car started. It's really cool. I think everybody should have one.
They sell them in Costco.
I have one.
Yeah, they do sell them everywhere.
They're really.
Everyone should have one.
I think you should have one in every car. It's because if your battery dies, it's a great thing to have. I couldn't believe it. Not only that, this one had a voltage meter on it, so it showed how much voltage the battery was putting out. It was putting out 8.7 volts, and then he plugged it in. Boom, we started right up, and we were off to the races.
And then you got a speeding ticket.
Oh, I got a speeding ticket. I didn't get a speeding ticket. I was in Pattaya, which basically is like a beach resort town in Thailand. And the traffic was, well, first of all, when you rent motorbikes there, they give you these helmets that just barely fit on your head. Nobody really wants you to wear a helmet really there, but the law says you got to wear a helmet. And so they're too uncomfortable to wear. You see, if you really want to bring a helmet, you got to bring your own. And, you don't want to travel with a helmet because it's so bulky, And so we're going, it's bumper to bumper traffic. And we come through a stop and the cop looks at me and he says, go like this, he says, psst, psst, pull over. And then he says, hey, let me see your license. There's no registration. He says, let me see your license. I show him my Nevada license. He says, what is this? I said, it's my license. See, I drive. He says, don't you have one of these? And he shows me a picture of what I need. And I said, oh, I left that at home. And he says, all right, well, you're not wearing a helmet. 500 baht, which is $15 right now. Here it is. And you know, and so then they give you the ticket. You go inside. There's a police station right there. You go there inside. You give them the 500 baht, and they give you a piece of paper. And he comes back out because he's now basically impounded your bike. You can't go anywhere until you show him you paid. So I show him that he paid. He looks at it, signs it, and he says to me, he says, okay, hold on to this. So if you get stopped in the next 24 hours for a helmet, just show it to them and they'll let you go. You don't have to pay another fine. So it had nothing to do at all about wearing a helmet. It had to do with they needed the 500 baht from me.
Sounds like Mexico.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like everywhere, everywhere, it's, but it's, no license, nothing. I mean, I can't imagine in the United States, they would have taken my license away at that point in time, here, all it was is $15 and you're on your way.
Isn't it more of a function that you get the ability to drive home to pick up your helmet and they won't give you a ticket for that?
No, they know what you're not. There's no. I had the helmet there, and he said, "Don't even wear it." He didn't. He said, as I was pulling, as I got on the boat, I started putting on the helmet. He said, "Put it down. You got the paper now. You don't need a helmet." Yeah, it's it's only about the money. That's about it. It's only about the money. Speaking about the money, the Fed is going to be meeting again, and they're probably going to raise the rates. They're guessing that the Fed rate could go up to 4.9% here. I'm just worried about that. If it goes up that high, what it's going to do to our economy, Well,
they announced today they were going to take it easy in December, so the market had a really good day today.
Very, very good. I haven't checked the market yet today, but that's a good thing. Yeah, it's December 13th. They're basically, we're thinking about maybe a 75 basis point hike. What did they say, David? Did you remember?
The market went up over 700 points today.
That's really good. But what about what are they going to raise the interest
They
rate?
didn't say. They just said that they don't need to be as aggressive.
That's good, because a lot of my friends right now are into T-bills, which is amazing that they can get that kind of percentages from a T-bill. But they're not as liquid. I can't afford to be in something that's not liquid at this point in time. Who knows when you're going to need money. Anyway, another big thing in the news is that the Oath Keepers, Stuart Rhodes and fellow group member Kelly Maggs were found guilty of seditious conspiracy. Has anybody followed that case at all, or understand what's going on with that?
Yeah, they screwed up and got caught. The last time this was won in a case was the sheikh who was bombing the World Trade Center. That's the last time the seditious guilty plea the guilty verdict was found. So they don't do it often, but they do it, and it's a big deal. I mean, that guy was going to bomb the Brooklyn Bridge, the Washington Bridge, the World Trade Center, and they got him on this exact same charge. That was like 1980 something, right?
Yeah. Well, this time they broke into the Congress, the actual building and they were trying to overthrow the government, which basically it's now no longer a whether or not it was, the movement, legitimate movement. A jury of their peers found that this now was a conspiracy to overthrow the government. And so maybe this will mellow out our country a little bit. Has anybody been following what's going on in China? What's happening with the protests over COVID? Anybody?
Yeah. They're starting to crack down heavy.
Right. So listen to this. Okay, so listen to this. So I have friends living in China. And basically, because of COVID, everybody has a cell phone. And because of COVID, they have an app on your phone that tracks where your well-being is, where you are, where you're actually. And so when you go into a store, you've got to show this app, and it'll show either green, yellow, or red. And if it's not green, you can't go into the store. So if they find somebody who had COVID at that particular location, they know everybody who's been there. And now they're using this technology against all the people that are protesting. It's crazy. I mean, that's communism. And we don't have that in the United States, and I hope we never do. But there is a movement right now to end our freedoms. And, and we have to be very vigilant as people if we like to be able to have free speech and like to be able to do what we're doing, especially like, meeting together and broadcasting it on Zoom and not being behind closed doors. We all have to be very vigilant that whenever you see something that's taking away your rights, that you stand up for it and you speak out. So especially when it comes to this kind of stuff. And Elon Musk, are you following what's going on with Twitter? Anybody?
What's new with Twitter?
Well, the last thing I heard was Elon Musk basically said, okay, he's firing all these people over there like crazy, so they no longer have enough people to do all the monitoring. And as of last week, they said that they're no longer going to monitor any conversations about COVID. So all of a sudden now, anybody could say anything at all about COVID, whether it's true or false or whatever, and it's going to be spread like wildfire if it's something that sounds believable, even if it isn't.
Did you see the other thing, Jan? I got a thing from LifeLock this morning, said that there was a data breach. All the usernames, passwords, emails, all that stuff from all the people on Twitter is out there in the wild. So if you're at Twitter account, it's out there.
That's crazy. That's crazy if that's the case. Because I mean, look, it says Apple and Google are both thinking about taking the Twitter app off of their app store. And if that does that, I don't know how much money this guy's got, but I can't imagine that his people are going to be happy with him if he blows that kind of investment. If Twitter goes out of business.
I always thought Twitter was a free thing, like Facebook. You could just sign up for it. You had paid levels like Facebook does, but isn't it just something you could just go sign up for?
No, I'm talking about the actual inner workings, the operational side of the company, the buildings, the servers, all of that. The advertisers are running away from it like crazy, and if they have no way to get the app out there. Basically, Elon Musk is saying that if that happens, he'll sell all his Apple shares that he holds to Donald Trump for $1.
Well, I hadn't heard that. That's a good one.
But of course that could be total BS that you're hearing, because there's no monitoring of anything. I mean, when there's no monitoring of the truth, and anything can be said anywhere at any time that gets dissipated through the society that fast, it's dangerous.
Well, Elon Musk said that if Apple pulls out of Twitter, he's going to build a better iPhone.
Yeah. I mean, meanwhile, he's got, his rockets are doing really well, and I'm sure the Boring Company is doing well as well. The
Boring Company is saving him, from what I understand.
Yeah, well, whatever it is, and Tesla stock is down, from my understanding, but I don't have any Tesla stock, so I'm not following it. So speaking of not following stuff, there is a new experimental drug called isomethibab, if I'm pronouncing it correct, and it actually appears to slow the progression of Alzheimer's disease, according to new clinical trial results, but it's also raised some safety concerns, and the results of the trial data showed that the drug appeared to slow the progression of the decline by about 27%, but 14% of the trial participants who received this medicine experienced certain serious adverse events, such as brain swelling and brain bleeding. So, I don't know. I don't know which. I don't have either one, so I don't know which is worse. But it just seems to me if the cure is worse than the disease, it ain't good. It ain't good. Anybody here a senior taking insulin? Well, if you are, it's now going to cost you no more than $35. That's a good thing. Let me see what else we got in this. What else we got? A tunnel was discovered in Egypt underneath a temple that may lead to Cleopatra's tomb. Archaeologists say that this could be the big breakthrough that they've been working for years and years and years to find Cleopatra's tomb. What do you know about that?
I'm ready.
The excavation revealed a huge religious center with 3 sanctuaries, a sacred lake, and more than 1,500 objects, bust statues, golden pieces, and a huge collection of coins portraying Alexander the Great, Queen Cleopatra, and Ptolemies. So anyway, we got the link on that if you want to follow that about Cleopatra. That's really cool. And let's see. Wow, look at the time. My God. So the last thing I want to talk about this week is the Webb telescope. Have anybody seen any of the latest pictures from the Webb? From the James Webb telescope?
No.
I don't think
They
so.
have now found pictures of the most distant galaxy ever observed.
Whoops.
It is spied on one of the earliest galaxies ever formed after the Big Bang, over 350 million years ago after the universe began. So there you go. Makes you feel young that they go back 350 years.
Million.
No, they're going back billions of years. It's 350 million years since the Big Bang. So they're going back even further than that.
Wow.
Well, I have to thank Carl Sagan for that. Billions and billions, you know. There you go.
No, it's the Googleplex.
The Googleplex. Well, anyway. All right, that's all the stories that I had for this week. So if anybody's got anything to say now, now's the time.
I'd like to say a congratulations to William Crichton, who got an ARIA award this week in Australia. And I've worked with him since he was about 17. I think he's about 35 now, but he's worked hard and he got an ARIA award this week.
What is an ARIA award, first of all?
Well, it's music awards, just like it's the major music awards in Australia, and they have all the classifications. I don't know what the equal thing to that would be in America, but he did good. He had and he's been in America for a while. He used to work. I think Matt Sherrod had a bit of input into that album, and so did Rob Hurst from Midnight Oil, and some other. But Clint, when he was a young fellow, went to America. He lived in Nashville for a little while and he just did the running around the countryside. Him and his brother and his now wife, I think they all went. They bought a bus and they went around. But he got an ARIA. I thought it was great stuff. Anyway, I'd just like to say congratulations to him. I've already said that here, but I just thought I'd say it on the in the Zoomy room.
Well, I just want to say congratulations for bringing up that story. There you go. So we got congratulations all around. There you go. All right. So who else wants to say something? Anybody? Going once.
How about Wayne giving us a good question?
The Wayne Sims question of the week.
Rightio. So do digital electrons work harder than analog electrons? Not answerable, I don't think. There's an interesting thing. Do they work harder?
Yes.
Which ones work harder? Digital ones or analog ones?
Digital.
I'm not a scientist.
I think there's a joke in there somewhere. I'm just trying to figure out where it is, like what did one electron say to the other? Hey, where's your neutron? I don't know.
Well, I've just been interested, because we deal with stuff that you can't see. You can't see electrons. I believe that they nearly can see them. I don't know. They're so small. But I just was intrigued to think. I was just sitting there thinking to myself, I wonder which ones work harder to produce.
Why would they be any different from each other? They're still current.
Yeah, I know.
Different unions, David. Different unions. That's where it is.
You got a good point there.
Different unions. Yeah.
But ones stop and start, and ones keep going. I just wonder which one.
To an electron, it doesn't matter.
Well, probably doesn't matter.
If for some reason it reminds me of the time that I was in Mr. Frudenroyen's class, back, I think that was his way he pronounced his name, and he was the algebra teacher, and the answer was -1. That was the answer, and -1. And I remember having the answer. I was really, really excited about it that I had the answer because I really had no answer. I had no clue about algebra whatsoever, really. And so I was raising my hand. I was going crazy. He said, "Okay, what is it? What is it, Landy?" I said, "It's -1." He says, "Are you sure?" I says, "Positive." He says, "Well, is it negative or positive?" I said, "I'm sure." He says, "Well, you're sure?" "Yes, I'm sure. I'm positive." He says, "It's a negative or positive." So there you go. There you have it. That was it. I was positive, and even though the answer was negative, unbelievable.
What was all that, Jan?
You have to be an algebra buff to understand that joke. But no, that's true. That was actually the truth. I remember that really well. One of those episodes from my collegiate career in high school or was a junior high at the time. And the answer was -1. And I had it. And I said, -1. And he says, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Positive." He says, "Well, is it negative or positive?" I said, "It's negative." He says, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, positive." Needless to say, I failed that class, but what's the difference? It doesn't make. I had to take it twice. What do they say? 7th grade was the roughest 2 years of my life. That's about it. So there you have it. Anybody else have anything they want to say? Steve, you got anything?
Not really. Just trying to get through this congestion for the last 3 weeks.
Well, hey, Vicks Vapor Rub works wonderful. It's just a wonderful thing. This is not a paid political ad. Vicks Vapor Rub, we use it here religiously. That's it.
Is this the back end of COVID?
I don't know.
Or is it RSV? I didn't realize that adults could get RSV until.
I haven't been to a doctor. I've just been taking Mucinex for the last week or so.
Well, that's what they were going. That's what they would prescribe for you anyway. That kind of stuff. I don't know what they have. Common cold is, it's common. That's it.
Yeah, I've had no fever or any other symptoms. Just a cough and congestion.
And by the way, did anybody see that letter from Michael Strickland?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the guy really now wants to run for office because he's using fear to motivate people, So I think he's really planning on starting his congressional run. The congressman from Knoxville.
What did he say? I didn't see it.
Well, basically, there's a fee. Get Steve. Get.
They want to establish a central for the entertainment industry. They want to establish one entity for everybody to join, so we have power and numbers, going to Congress and trying to battle all this money situation that we haven't been getting.
Yeah, there's a word for that, and I can't remember. An association, I guess, is
Monopoly.
He wants to become a lobbyist.
Yeah,
That's what it is. A lobbyist is the word, and we need money to lobby.
So is he in with Ticketmaster?
I don't think so. No, he has a lighting company. He has one of the bigger lighting companies in the United States. Well, Bandit Light.
So he's just on the other side. Ticketmaster has a monopoly on selling to the public, and he wants the monopoly on putting lighting installations.
No. What he wants to do is organize the industry so that we have one voice of the production side. So basically, sound companies, lighting companies, video companies, we have no voice. And what his fear is that they're gonna want to shut us down again. They're gonna want to take away people from going to concerts. And he doesn't want that to happen. And I don't either. I don't believe that is going to happen. Because basically, the statistics don't show it. Like, I'll give you an example, which now, of course, you have to do your own research on what I'm about to say, because this is totally something that I've I pulled from here and there and whatever I've heard. But it seems to me what I've heard, and if you disagree, now is the time to talk about it. But it seems like Florida, this guy Ron DeSantis, he said, you know what, we're going to keep the city open. We're going to do concerts. We're going to do whatever we want. We're going to keep it going. No mask mandates, no nothing. And whereas in California and Nevada, they closed everything down, mask mandates, blah, 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 you name it. And it turns out that statistics show that Florida had the same amount of COVID negativity as California and Nevada, or even less. So it turned out that maybe the mask mandate and closing everything was a waste of time and money. Does anybody have any comment on that?
It's interesting because I just got, within the last 2 days, CBS and Paramount both have dropped the COVID restrictions for those of us that work for them. So now you can go in the buildings and you can, without having to have vaccines or any of that stuff, it's all been dropped.
So
What have you heard?
back to,
Oh, see if
yeah,
that-
Michael's, it's the Entertainment Association is what they want to create. And I thought that NAM was our representation. Remember when we were going through all the stuff earlier? NAM was supposed to be the heavy hitter for our industry.
Yeah, because they're an association. Yeah.
Right.
And
Right. So they were encouraging people to join NAM so that they could get more members and more money behind it. And now it looks like they're trying to create something totally independent of that now, the Entertainment Association.
yeah, I would think that, I would think that it's probably a good idea to have a lobbyist working in our favor.
Oh, sure.
But the reality is who's going to be the one that does it, or is it going to be like something like Woody Allen would say, that I never want to be a member of any group that would have me as a member,
Not your marks.
Well, Groucho Marx?
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe-
very good.
Maybe Ken has an opinion. He just jumped in.
Yeah, Ken Porter has, well, if he doesn't have an opinion, then there's something wrong.
Okay.
He's muted.
So what are you understand what we're talking about with Michael Strickland and the association compared to NAM? What are you thinking?
You're muted.
Jan, you can unmute him.
There's something wrong about an audio man not being, not being able to unmute himself.
I need Mike Brown's phone number.
Okay, I'll get it to you.
Okay. Other than
When do you
that,
need it by?
tonight,
I'll get it to you right away.
I got to go to dinner here in a minute, but I was trying to catch up with him. I'm in Vegas, whatever, trying to do some stuff, and need him to help me with something.
Mike Brown, not John Brown, Mike Brown. Okay,
Mike
I'll get it to
Brown.
you right.
Kevlo guy that hasn't been on in quite a while because he.
I was going to ask you, where is he and Ken Newman? I haven't seen either one of them.
Right.
Well, Ken Newman was here last week. I don't know where Mike Brown is. I haven't spoken to him in a while. It's this time difference between Las Vegas and Thailand. It's a winner. It's a winner for sure.
Oh, Dave's on same time, isn't he?
Anyway, this is a good reason. Ken, do you have anything you want to share for the world before we say goodbye till next week?
Oh, we already goodbying already? I didn't realize that. I just got started.
Hello.
Oh, well, then we'll stay on for as long as you want.
No, that's fine. I was just, time wise, I can't quite remember which goes where. But
Are you in Las Vegas right now?
Yes, I am at the New York hotel. I just been around a couple things today, and I got to load in tomorrow. I got to go to, and some other things I got to do.
Well, I wish I was there to join you.
Yeah, we could do breakfast or lunch or something.
Yes, well, come on out here to Thailand. It's only a 2 hour, it's only a 2-day flight. Don't worry about it. By the time you get here, I'll have breakfast made. That's it,
But
for sure.
if I fly the other way around, is it only a 1-day flight?
Yeah, well, either way, yeah, because basically you lose a day the other way. You gain a day and lose a day.
Gert's
So
back on the
back to the
road.
question you were talking
safe.
about. I had thought that NAM was trying to become an association to represent a lot of people, even in production and everything. But I think with the president retiring, I don't know if they've really gone around and done what they're going to do.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from NAM at all since Joe Lamond has decided to retire. I don't know what's happening over there.
Who'd they hire to replace him?
I probably Michael Strickland. Who knows? We'll see.
Well, then let's get things together. Get going on to beat up. Let's make deals.
Let's make it happen. That's what I say, because you make it happen. That's right. You make it happen. And you,
Wait, so
and
which-
you.
Which number is this one? Is this 150 yet?
No, we're only at 130. We're only this. I think this is the 132nd one. So next week will be 133rd. You know, there you have it. I have no plans on retiring.
And by next year, we don't have to deal with the time change anymore, right? After this, when we go back, there's no more daylight savings time, right?
Well, in Arizona, I don't know about the rest.
No, I mean
of
the rest of the country.
Really?
I thought it was voted on and passed that after this round of daylight savings time, it goes back to standard time and we don't have to deal with it anymore.
Wishful thinking.
Well, I promise you, I will do some research. I just wrote that down. Daylight savings time ends.
I'm pretty sure that I read something or heard something on the news about it. It somehow passed.
In Arizona.
No, it's never had daylight savings time in Arizona.
That's exactly why I say that. Yeah. Yeah, no, Arizona's crazy. I can't wait to see what happens. I mean, I'm following the news here. What's going on with the election in Arizona? Of course, you know it's Crazyville over there.
Thank God I haven't been here.
Yeah,
I've
Crazyville.
been on the road for the last 3 months.
Anyway, with that in mind, unless anyone has anything else they want to share, let's say goodbye to Facebook, YouTube, and all of those other entities that we're broadcasting to, and we'll talk about them offline. All right. So with that in mind, remember, you make it happen. Remember, everything you heard today is an opinion, and do your own research. And I think we're going to, I'm not happy with the name right now. SoundBroker presents our current events roundtable. I think we're just going to call it the MasterMind show, and that's it. And it's an opinion show, and that's it. And it'll be a lot easier. Welcome to the MasterMind show. And, speak your mind, even if it is a master. There you have it. So with that in mind, you make it happen. How do you like that? With that in mind, you make it happen. So have a great week. Be safe. Stay healthy. And we will talk to you again next week for the 133rd show. All right. Bye-bye. And we are off the air.